pretty. Look how pretty. Are you dying? Because I am. I love this blush color. Hi you guys, welcome back to the Clean Beauty Code. I'm so excited for this video because we are doing this look on my face today. We are doing a full face of Clean Beauty, $20 and under. And I'm really excited. You know, what's fascinating is I feel like, okay, I was like doing a bunch of research. I was looking for options out there, but also shopping what I had in my stash. And I just want to say, like, drugstore stuff, like drugstore brands, except for obviously there's like a few handfuls that kind of like maintain their pricing, a lot of brands are crazy expensive. I was actually really surprised. And you know what, in the last 10 years we've seen like a slow rise in prices at the drugstore, but I will say within that 10-year, the last 5 years, it's kind of really skyrocketed up. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, products have gotten better, shade ranges have gotten better. Like, we are seeing, you know, better formulas and all of that. So it kind of like makes sense, but also like it's the drugstore. I was looking at a powder at the drugstore, like a drugstore powder, and she was $23. Madam, I was looking at a setting powder or setting spray specifically that is available at Target, drugstore, whatever. Kind of available actually everywhere, and she was $22. Concerning, alarming. But also, like, I get it, but also, like, please stop. Just want to kind of jump into the video so you can see how I created this full face of clean beauty products that are $20 and under. So if you're excited for this video and more videos like this, then please like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this full face of makeup using clean beauty products, $20 and under. On to brows. I have a couple of options. I'm going to list them all for you and just use one. So first, I have this one from Persona Cosmetics. This is their brow gel. It's called their Swipe Up. So if you like a colored brow gel, this is nice. It really holds your brows in place. Next, let's do the clear brow gels that I have. So I have the Jason Wu Beauty clear brow gel, which is here, the PYT clear brow gel, which is here, and the Ami Collet clear brow gel, which has launched recently. So I think I'm going to use this because I haven't used it on camera yet. Do a little bit of this. I love a clear brow gel. Do you guys love clear brow gel? Let me know. All right, I'm happy with how that's looking. I do really enjoy that brow gel. Holds really stubborn brow hairs in place, and I have a bunch. Next, let's move on to brow pencils. So I have 3 here. I have the Jason Wu Beauty Brow Pencil, which you've seen me use, the Ami Collet, which is newer, and then I have the PYT Brow Pencil, and I think I'm going to go with PYT today. It's just so good. So I have the shade Chocolate here, and then I also have the shade Taupe. My brows are looking pretty dark, so I'm going to go Chocolate today, and we're just going to fill them in really quick, nothing too crazy. I never fill my brows in towards the front because my brows are pretty dark, and it just would look, I would look literally Sandy Cohen. All right, happy with the brows and how that's looking. I don't take too long to fill them in. I have a decent brow shape right now. This one is the one that struggles the most. This one has the most that needs to kind of grow in. This one is fine. She's always looking good. This is my good brow. This is my bad brow. Everyone has one. Okay, let's move on to the rest of the makeup. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a like glowy base underneath the foundation I'm going to apply. So I'm gonna use these. These are the Versed Moon Lighting Glow Drops. I have the shade Golden, which is the lighter shade, and the shade Bronze, which is the darker shade. I'm gonna do a little bit more of Golden and then a little bit of Bronze. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna just do a couple drops on the back of my hand for you, just so you can see what it looks like. That is the shade Golden. And then let's do a drop of the shade Bronzed for you so you can see. And that is the shade Bronzed. So I'm going to do, that's all I'm going to do with Bronzed actually. And I'm going to do just one more drop of Golden. I don't want it to be too bronzed, but I do want it to have a little bit of something, you know, and just mix it on the back of my hand so you can kind of see. And then I'm just going to apply it straight right to my face and just blend it in. All right, I'm happy with how that's looking. I love these drops. They're really, really good. You can add them into face creams. You can add them into sunscreen if you don't, let's say, have the glow screen or something like that. Or you have a sunscreen you love, you don't want to use a glow screen. Having something like this is really nice. You can kind of mix and match, and they're not very expensive. And they're 2 shades. I don't believe that they have added any more since I've ordered these. These are really good. Okay, next let's move on to complexion products. So I have 2 foundation-y type products. I have this one from Jason Wu Beauty. This is the Tinted Moisturizer Meets CC Cream, and I wear the shade 8 in this. Really, really nice, good product, and has a decent shade range. Then I have this one from Thread Beauty. This is the, what is the full name? The Face It Complexion Stick, and I wear the shade 70 Tan Neutral. This is an incredible price point. Holy guacamole. I believe this is $8 or something. So we're going to use this one because I haven't used this one on camera as much since I've done a full review of this. So you want to see the full breakdown and all of that compare and contrast stuff. I have a full video on that, but let's do this. So this is again 70 Tan Neutral, and I am going to just apply it to my face. It looks a little dark when I first apply it, but I promise it's not crazy. So we're just going to do a couple of stripes on the face. Nothing too crazy. Okay, there's that. You can kind of see what that is. It's a decent, it has a little bit of warmth to it. So it's not super, super neutral, but I do, like, it does work for me. All right, that is blended into the face. It's so creamy. It melts into the skin. I mean, it really doesn't feel like an $8 product at all. It feels a lot more high end. It's a very, very nice, really, really good, just complexion product overall. I'm such a big fan of this. And they have a lot of options. It's like slightly warm for me, but I can make it work. So next, let's move on to concealer. Now, the concealer that I have today, weirdly enough, you guys, it was really hard to find a concealer under $20. That was like even at the drugstore, because you know, more drugstore brand options, let's say Well People or something like that, everything was over $20. So this is really, really good. This is the LYS Beauty Triple Fix Full Coverage Concealer, and I'm going to apply a little bit under my eyes here. And then I'm going to apply a little bit on the top of my nose, just a touch. I'm going to do a little bit just here because I want to brighten a bit, and then just a touch on my nose. Or not nose, chin. I'm going to let that sit for a second, and then we're going to blend it out. All right, now we let it sit. Let's blend. So I'm going to take a little mini beauty sponge, and I'm just going to blend where it is, where I have it on like more of the smaller areas. And I'm going to just take this, and I don't want it to spread too much. I just want a little bit of brightness right here. I do have a brightening powder that I'm also going to use, so I don't need to do this too much. I'm going to take this again and blend my under eyes with it, and I'm just going to kind of really push the product into the skin. And not try and spread it out too much, because again, like I said, I have a brightening powder that I am going to use, so I don't need to try and brighten the middle of my face up too much. Okay, next I think I'm gonna go on with just a little bit of brightening, like illuminating powder, before I go on with bronzer and all of that jazz. So I'm going on with these powders here. These are the Illuminizing Glow powders from Honest Beauty. I have 2 of the shades. Actually, they only have 2 shades. One is Midnight Reflection, which is the lighter one, and Dusk Reflection. I'm gonna go on with kind of a little mixy-poo of the 2, and kind of mix together a little bit, but I am going to go with the brightening shade first, just in the middle of my face, just slightly, nothing too crazy. Okay, I'm happy with how my skin's looking, feeling like it's looking cute. Let's move on to bronzer. So I have a couple of options for bronzer, a couple of creams, and then a powder. So I have this for powder. This is the LYS Beauty bronzer, and I have the shade Harmony here and the shade Courage here. They're both really beautiful. And then next I have a couple of creams. So I have this one. It's so hard to open. The Tower 28 Bronzino in the shade West Coast. This might be a little bit warm for today. This is such a good summer bronzer for me, though. I'm obsessed with it. I do want to order a different shade in their bronzer. Then I have this LYS Beauty bronzer in the shade Harmony, and this is their cream bronzer. Just so pretty. So what I think I'm actually going to do is I think I'm going to go on with the LYS Beauty cream bronzer, and I'm just going to apply just a touch. So I kind of just placed it all over my face, and I'm going to blend it out with a brush. and just tap it into the skin. It just, look how amazing that blends out. It's just gorgeous. I can't. This bronzer is perfect. Okay, super happy with that blend. It just gives you something. It's not too much. Sometimes bronzer can be too much. And you want to feel super bronze, but you also want it to look, I mean, maybe you don't, but I want it to look somewhat natural, especially for every day. So then next, let's move on to blush, you guys. We got some good blushes. So I have a couple options. I have this one here. This is the Jason Wu Beauty Hot Fluff, and this is in the shade Nutmeg. Wait, nutmeg spice. Then I have this palette here from Jason Wu Beauty, which is beautiful, and this is their Drive to Napa powder blush palette. Obsessed. So cute. And then we also have this from Tower 28. I've used this on camera a million times. Their blush in the shade Magic Hour. It's so good. I actually think I'm going to go on with the Hot Fluff today from Jason Wu Beauty. So I'm going to do a little bit on the back of my hand like this. And then I'm going to take a brush and apply it to my cheeks. And you guys are just going to be gagged when you see how good this color is. Look how pretty. Look how pretty. Are you dying? Because I am. I love this blush color. But also just like the Hot Fluffs from Jason Wu Beauty are really like slept on, honestly. I feel like not enough people talk about them. And it's nice because they're not super dewy, and there's always time and a place for dewy blushes, but it lasts longer because it isn't a super dewy blush. It has more of a matte finish, but that doesn't mean, I mean, you can see on my face, it doesn't mean that dew doesn't come through, right? So if you do a dewy base, using something like this is really nice, and it just gives you the most gorgeous, what do you think? I'm obsessed with it. It's just so good. I need a little bit more on this side because it's a little uneven. I'm just gonna put a little bit more on the back of my hand and then apply right here. Love that. So I'm gonna actually take a just like brush I didn't use, a clean brush. I'm gonna go around the edge of the blush to just make sure it blends in seamlessly. I love that. It just looks so pretty. And you know, you can do also bridge of the nose. I don't always love bridge of the nose because a lot of the time I feel like it can give sunburnt and all of that, but sometimes it also can give, just depending on how it's applied, sometimes it can give you're getting a zit on your nose. Sometimes, not always. So I don't really personally love to do that, but on some people it just is like the vibe, right? So that is that. I'm happy with how that's looking. I am gonna do a little bit of highlight, and to do highlight, I'm gonna take this from the Versed Dewdrops or Moon Drops, not Dewdrops. No, Moonlighting Glow Drops. Can I get it together? Just take a little bit on the back of my hand. Just this much, that's a lot, but I'm going to just a little drop, take my finger, just my ring finger, dip in a little bit and just apply a little bit. And although, I mean, remember, we're in studio light, so everything's gonna look a little bit brighter here on camera than it would in person, but this just melts into the skin. And I mean, look at that, look at what that does. But it looks so natural in person, but in photos also, because it has that strong reflection, it still pops a punch, especially if you have really good lighting. But for every day, it just makes you look like you have a really glowy, healthy complexion, especially in winter, where like winter and fall, where like we're just never going to be looking as, you know, dewy as we want because winter, it's cold and windy. So I'm gonna do a little bit on the bridge of my nose, nothing crazy. Next, we're gonna move on to eyes, you guys, and I'm thinking I'm gonna go like a little smoky. I'm just feeling like a nice brown smoky eye or something like that. So let's get into it. First, I'm gonna prime my lid. I'm gonna use this. This is a Jason Wu Beauty eye primer, and they have a bunch of shades. This is shade medium, but they have a bunch of other shades. I went medium because I feel like all the, they had a darker shade, which would also work for me, but I'm gonna take this much. This is too much. I'm gonna put it on the back of my hand and kind of spread it out. I feel like to combat the specific color I have on my lid, this color is best because it has peach in it. So I'm gonna apply it, you can see, and all that looks crazy. I know you're like, whoa girl, that is so crazy looking. I swear it's not. Okay, I'm happy with how that look is looking. It neutralizes my lid really well, and it neutralizes the veins that I get. They're really apparent. So next we're gonna, I would set it, but I actually am gonna go on with a powder bronzer. So I'm not going to. I'm gonna go on with the shade Harmony, which is the same bronzer color I used on my cheeks in the cream. I'm gonna go with the powder color, and I'm gonna just kind of pull it through my crease a little bit. Not a lot, just a touch, and just blend it there. Okay, so I'm happy with how that's looking. Pulled it through, really, really easy, simple blend. And next, we're gonna go on with this eyeshadow palette here. I actually have a couple of eyeshadows that I'm possibly gonna use, but for like my everyday kind of shades, not everyday, for majority of the shades, I'm gonna be using this palette here. This is the Jason Wu, I think it's Agave, matte Agave palette. Beautiful. I mean, look at that. I'm going to take this kind of smaller blending brush, and I'm actually going to go into this dark brown color here. And I am going to just kind of place it. So that adds a nice depth, but it's not too dark just yet, because I don't want it to be too intense. Then I'm going to take the same brush that I applied the bronzer with and just kind of go over the edge really. Next, I'm going to take a little bit more of that brown color on a more pinpointy brush and apply more. Next, I am going to take a little bit of that bronzer color and that dark brown color and pull them down on my lower lash line. So I pulled a little bit of that dark brown bronzy color on my lower lash line. What I am going to do is I'm going to take a brush like this and just create kind of a thicker line with the dark brown on my lid right by my lash line, but nothing too crazy. Okay, so I'm really happy with how that's looking so far. I might smoke it out a little bit more once I add some more stuff, but I'm gonna go on with this next. This is a beautiful shimmery color. This is from Range Beauty, and this is their Dual Eye and Highlight product. And this is in the shade Sunkissed, and you guys, this is beautiful. I'm gonna just take a little bit, can you see? So I'm going to take that. I'm actually going to, it looks so much better in person than it does on camera. But I'm going to take a little bit of this and apply it to my lid. And I know it feels a little crazy because I already applied all that eyeshadow, but it's all going to make sense. Oh, it just looks so good. And in person, it's like the perfect sheen. I'm actually going to take a little bit more and towards the middle. So I applied a little bit, I don't know if you can tell, a little bit more of the product right in the middle there. And then I'm going to take a blending brush and just blend the edge. And then we're going to apply a little bit more of that brown color that, you know, we had down to smoke out a little bit more. Okay, I'm really happy with that. It's just so good. I'm going to take a little bit more of this brown color here and just pack it right here. Okay, so I'm really happy with how that's looking. I was going to add a little bit of eyeliner just on my upper lash line, but I'm actually really happy with it, so I'm not going to. But if you want to add a eyeliner, the Personal Cosmetics eyeliners are just like life-changing. They're so freaking good. I'm obsessed with them, and they are a great price. So next, let's move on to mascaras. I have a bunch of mascaras here. One is the Ami Colé mascara. I'm a really big fan of this mascara, and I know a lot of people do enjoy it. Then next, I have the two Jason Wu Beauty mascaras. I have a lash volume in curl and a lash volume in length mascara. And then next, I also have this mascara from PYT. I think I'm going to layer two. This is their Swipe Right 12-hour mascara, really good. I actually think I'm going to do the Ami Colé mascara and then maybe one of the other ones, like layer it. We'll see. I'm going to apply the Ami Colé. Now with this one, you need to clean off the wand. Like if not, it is going to be a mess all over your face. And by clean off the wand, I mean scrape off the excess product that is on the wand. But it is a really pretty mascara. And I'm going to, it isn't a super wet mascara either. It is more on the, not dry, but it is not a super like liquidy wet mascara. So you kind of get that build kind of right away, which is very nice. Sometimes you have to let mascaras like sit, not sit, but you have to have it open the mascara and give it like a couple weeks, and then it kind of gives you that consistency. This is not one of those. I think I'll do a little bit of this PYT mascara because it's a super long lasting one, and it does last really, really long. This has a similar consistency, so they work well together. If I do the other one, sometimes you have to find mascaras that work really well together consistency-wise. Not all mascaras are gonna play well together consistency-wise, because some set up really quick or some are super liquidy compared to ones that aren't as liquidy, and then it's not always a match made in heaven. Okay, so I'm really happy with how that's looking. Let me know what you think. I feel like the makeup looks really, really good. Okay, next let's move on to lips. I just took off what I had on my lips, the lip balm I had on, and I have a couple lip liners for you. So this one here, I really love this. This is the Tower 28 lip liner in the shade Draw Me, I believe. Yeah, gorge. Then I have this one here from Jason Wu Beauty, which is, it's so good. I might go with that one. It's just such a pretty brown shade, and this is in the shade Luminous, I believe. Yes, and then I have this one from Persona Cosmetics in the shade Rosewood. This is also needs to be sharpened. You know what? And I learned my lesson because I never sharpen my stuff. And then I sit down and then I have to go get up and sharpen it. So now whenever I sit down to film, I have a sharpener with me. Look how sharp she got. Love it. And then we have the shade Rosewood, which is a really pretty, like, neutral color. Gorge. And very, very creamy. All of these are really creamy. So that is kind of what's happening here. I think I'm going to do the Jason Wu in Luminous and maybe a little bit of the Persona as well. So let's get into it. The next, I'm happy with how that's looking. I'm not going to do the Persona because I think I figured out what I want to do. I have this lipstick here from Mented. It's beautiful. It's a matte, but it's more of a semi-matte. So it's not like dry your lips out matte, which... Okay, frog in my throat, get it together, because my lips are really dry today. Actually, my lips have been dry for like 2 months. And then I think I'm actually going to layer this lip gloss on top, which is the Tower 28 lip gloss in the shade Almond. It is literally everything. Gorge. So let's do a little bit of that lipstick. It's just such a good match. Look at that. Look at that color match. It's just so good. This is such a good lipstick. So this is the Mented matte lipstick in the shade Dope Taupe. It's just so good. I love Mented. And then we're going to do a little bit of this on top. This is just so good. I love this look. I want to know your thoughts down below. What do you think about the skin? What do you think about the eyes? What do you think about the lips? What do you think about the highlight? What do you think? I would love to know what other looks that you want. If it's a price point, I'm definitely doing holiday. So I'm definitely going to do a holiday kind of affordable holiday makeup look kind of video. But I would love to know what else you want to see. Let me know down below. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.